Welcome back to Good Day Orlando. Time now 9:23. Temperatures outside 70 degrees. In the Money Watch, a new law allows survivors of Hurricanes Irma, Harvey, and Maria to withdraw funds from retirement savings plans without penalty, but there are some risks involved. Here to explain is financial planner Gary Abely. Gary, good to see you. Good morning.
Great to see you.
So some pros and cons with this. Let's start with the pros. What are the benefits of these new parameters?
Well, the great news is, let's say you had a roof damage and maybe it's $15,000 and you have a $5,000 deductible. Well, most people don't have $10,000 just sitting there to write out a check for a new roof. The law allows you to pull money out of an IRA or out of your firm's 401k plan and not pay that 10% penalty you normally would if you were under the age of 59 and a half. That's a big advantage for those who can pay that back. So the law also allows you to pay that money back within 3 years, so that you don't have to pay the tax. If you pay it back, you can get a refund, because keep in mind, when you take that money out of your IRA, you won't pay the penalty, but you will pay income tax. So the advantage is, of course, you can avoid the 10% penalty, and you can also, the law allows you also to spread that amount that you've taken out of your IRA as income over a 3-year period. So you can, if you were taking $10,000 out of my example, you could put $3,333 in each of your next year's tax returns, so it may not bump you into that next higher bracket if you spread it over 3 years. So it is a big plus.
Okay, let's talk about the cons, because clearly there are some things that might not be beneficial to your retirement accounts.
Well, that's right. So the cons, of course, is if you didn't have the $10,000 when the loss occurred, how are you going to have the $10,000 to repay that back over the next 3 years? Most people won't, and that's a big hurt. So, for example, if you look at somebody who's 30 years old and they just took $5,000 out, that would actually have an impact to them at reasonable growth rates of close to $250,000 of lost income over a normal 20-year retirement period. It's amazing how money compounds, and so that's a big issue. Obviously, if you don't have that money in retirement, this little loss, you would have been much better off, for example, taking a loan, maybe a FEMA loan or something, spreading your payments over 15 years perhaps, rather than trying to pay something back over a 3-year period. Very hard.
Is there one way that might be better? Is it better to take it out of your IRA account, out of your company's 401k account?
Those are going to be about the same. I think the better option for most people, unless they know they can repay that back in 3 years, is to take a loan to be able to pay off, to pay for the damage. Now, there's one benefit of the law that not a lot of people are talking about, and this is huge. It allows you to take a casualty loss deduction, which normally, now that you have to be in a presidential disaster area, which of course we are here in Central Florida, but normally you would have to get above 10% of your adjusted gross income. It's just enough to where you really can't get any benefit out of it, right?
Yeah.
So, but the law now allows you to do it whether you itemize or not, which that's a huge thing, because many people don't itemize. And if you don't itemize, you just have to get over a threshold of $500. So this is a big issue. There's not this 10% of adjusted gross income. Further, another bonus is you can actually take this loss in the prior year. So you could amend your 2016 tax return.
Oh, wow.
Great if you were a retiree when this loss occurred and you had high income in the prior year. Now you're able to get a refund in that high income year. Huge benefit. So the casualty loss limitation has really been eliminated, and that's a huge bonus.
All right, Gary, great to see you. Good advice. Where can people find you?
They can find us at financialgroup.com.
There you go. All right, some financial planning definitely involved in dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma and Maria here in Central Florida for sure.